Okay, yeah. Oh, welcome to the review of the MoonDrop Horizon. And if you've seen me review any of the other 3 MoonDrop headphones, you got to know what's coming. MoonDrop has this amazing ability to make a fucking astonishing headphone at a good price and then somehow screw up which pads are in it. That's just what they do. And I'm... all right, we'll get to it. Let's look at the build first, because these are cheap. And if you know about the what the hell are the Cosmos? Cosmos hanging around? Are you the Cosmos? You're the Paras. Maybe you're the Cosmos. Hold on, wait a second. Let's grab a thing. Are you the you're the thing? Yeah, I think you're the thing. Yeah, I think you're the Cosmos. And it's hard to judge because they all look nearly identical. Got there's a Venus are there. Then the Paras are the affordable ones. And then wait, are you the Paras? Now I'm confused. They all use the same basic headband, but you're dark black here. I actually don't remember the thick pads. It's got to be this has got to be the Cosmos, right? Are you the Cosmos? I'm going to look it up. I'm not satisfied with my abilities in this thing. We're going to restart it. No, you know what? No. Stop it. Cosmo headphone. Can I control click that? Yeah, that's the one. Wow. Okay. So I was actually like a nervous just ran out like, oh my god, wait, is this the right one? Am I fucking this up? I'm not. So the Venus, which came out first, had a different build. And then they came with the Para, which fixed a lot of the problems with the $700 Venus on the Para, which is only $300, $250 is like the current price. It was $250, $300. And then they came up with the Cosmo, which was $1,000 headphone. And as you can see, it uses this. It's got the fucking HiFi problem of it's the exact same mechanical system. But at least it's better than a lot of the HiFi systems. And then you can tell that these are giant Dakoni deep set pads and these very heavy headphone. The other 3 MoonDrop headphones were planar. This one, being the most affordable one, is a dynamic. Look at it. Look at that son of a bitch right there. And it's, from a looks perspective, if you told me these were $500 and not $200, I'd agree. I'd be like, absolutely. But then you start touching it and there's a build issue, even though it's the same, almost exact build as the $1,000 ones, which I do love, by the way, once you change the pads. It's like somehow they made this the thinnest piece of metal possible. So like, you see how there's no holes in that? And this is just fucking riddled with it. If you have tryptophobia, you're screwed. Well, that makes it so weak that I've had to add clamp to this. And that's a very rare thing on a headphone is that Zeos has to make it more clampy. My head is gigantic. So it's like, but they were so loose. I actually just started bending like hard bends, like just trying to get these in to have some sort of strength to hold on to me. So the clicky system here is the same clicky system as all the other clicky systems. Look, this is a $1,000 clicky system. Is that a fly? I missed him. $1,000 clicky system with a nice stiff spin, and this is a $200 clicky system with a nice stiff spin. The issue being solely, I think, just how thin this feels because of all the holes. They needed to pick like 50% less holes in this. If they're going for weight, that's one thing. This is just removing clamp tension. Like the steel is actually warped from how weak it is. So that's a negative. I would say that I would rather this be a solid piece like that. It was different on, I think, all of them. The Venus had perforations. I'm not sure where my Para is. It usually is on the wall. My Paramore, my Alarie. Looks department, fucking 10 out of 10. Any amount of money. Look at that. Look at that silver shine in there around what is essentially just a normal driver in a cup. Now, they're doing the silk screen here, which allows air to come into the driver's space, so it's very open sounding. So this is blocking, obviously it's a solid unit, and like on Eris, these vents lead into a semi-open cup, and there's only like holes. Those are giant windows. You could watch TV through them. The pads, you noticed, fell off, and that's because I was doing the thing. I actually read, there's only 2 reviews on Amazon with this. Let me go back to it, which is why I was like, fuck, I didn't want to change the page. I have to go back. There's 2 reviews, 3 ratings. It's only got 3.3 stars. And I like the way these sound. And the one of them is an absolute, like, I wish I should report it. It sounds surprisingly bad, like the free headphone on airplanes. All mids, boomy and muddy bass, $20 headphone will be okay, $200 no good. So fuck that guy, because I actually brought from the airplane 2 of the United earbuds. 2 sets. You know why 2 sets? Because they're fucking mono. So I have to plug in 2 sets to a splitter to make it stereo. I'll review them on the Inner Fetish channel. Check that out later. The other one is quite long and gave it 4 stars. And you know what? I'm going to give these 4 stars. Because they're not 5 stars. They're not blowing me away out of the door. But what this guy basically said, what T-Chan, which T-Chan sounds like a cool rapper name, is great except for the pads. The ding, ding, ding. Every single MoonDrop headphone, I've swapped pads and it's become amazing. And I don't think that's the case with this. You landed on the headphone. Damn it. I have flies, man. It's end of the season and the horses are out there. You live in horses country, you get horse flies. He's a brave fucker. I always used to think as a kid that like a relative would die, like my grandmother would die, and then all of a sudden there was a fly in the house, like one, and it would be there for fucking like a week, and I'm like, that's grandma. It's grandma flying around. But unless like the entirety of the population of a country died, then I don't think that's what's happening in my house right now. Okay, where was I? We're getting distracted by flies. It's the episode of Breaking Bad. If you haven't seen the whole show, watch the show. So the headband, I have an issue with the clamp. It is too fucking light. That's very rare. The build itself of the headphones are fine. We're going to have to talk about the wire. So let's do that now before we get to the sound, because you can just jump to the things. So the wire it comes with has interchangeable ends. Where the hell is it? There's you got a 3.5 or a 4.4. Got this really nice aluminum, like very large, very grippable thing that comes off, and you could, nice. Where the wire fails is the stiffness. Like you can kind of see from video, like, oh look, you can make a coil spring for a car out of that. And it's not the worst wire. I mean, the fact that it has interchangeable ends makes it like better than most. And then the split here is fucking massively long. But just like Serene's probably going to have, which is my new upcoming collab, because I like to shit on myself occasionally, there's microphonics up this wire. This is such a lightweight cup with all of this open area and this is such a stiff mechanism that you see the split here, this little slide. It's a perfect round aluminum. And as I'm wearing the headphones, it's rolling back and forth on my shirt. Like as I turn my head, it was rolling like a wheel. And I was hearing it. I'm like, what is that sound? So every bit of microphonics is transmitted up this wire into the cups. It's not the end of the world. If you're playing music loudly enough, you won't notice it. But I noticed it. If you pause, if you like, I watch some video on my phone, I did that, and I just hear everything happening. So, not a terrible wire. I mean, it's a 3.5, so I'll link to the, I have the headphone version of my other collab here, the flare cable. So if you want the headphone version with the interchangeable 4.4, that will not do that. And I know that because it fixes it on Serene as well. Wait till I get to that fucking problem. So, luckily 3.5, that's fine. Wire is fine. It's a $200 headphone. Did I just get a bunch of cat hair on that and shove it into the K15? I love that for me. I love that for me. So they didn't change the size or scale of the headphone from planar to dynamic. It probably saved them a fuckload of money to just be like, oh, there he is again. He's on the Theorem stack. I can't, like, whack him, can I? Like, what can I smash? What can I punch into this $3,500 DAC that's on loan to me? You know what? We'll use the stock pads. Hold on a second. I don't know if I killed him or scared him off. So they use the same size, which leads to some very interesting thing. I think this, yeah, because even you were you no you were you were metal rings. Oh, you were entire metal. So the $1,000 Cosmos had this giant metal sausage grinder plate that stuck to the magnets of the planar. A lot of them do that. This is what the tungsten uses. It's just a metal plate, and this one was in, and then I put another pad on it. This one is adhered to the pad, and it's just the magnets of whatever planar. Boom, snap it on there. The issue that, and I love that there's still adhesive on this, which makes it much more difficult to get it right and centered. But so these are the stock pads that come with this, the Horizon. And if you hold them against the cup, which we could just twist the shit out of that because it's actually smaller by a good margin. Like, this is not a fitted pad. This is too small a pad, which is, number one, annoying that you have to have a smaller pad than the cup itself. And number two, what is that? Because you look at it, the driver, and that one dude who gave it the 3.3 stars or 4 stars was like, look, these headphones have some cheap build, some annoyances, but they're tuned fully by what can only be described as, it's so thick. This is so thick. There's so much foam between the back and front of this pad that's people are calling them dark. People are saying that these are dark and they're a little bit too not treble focused and they're a little bit too dull. And I get it. And you could easily fix that. Here, look. I'll link to the Eris pads in the description. See these rings? This is the same thing Oddjob has in his fucking hat in James Bond. Because I had to put these in here, and they're, let's just put it this way, they're not intended to be handled by children. Because it nearly ripped my fucking hands apart, because how sharp that is. But that makes you just go boop. So they actually embedded magnets, since it is a dynamic and there's no magnets, which I don't hate this system, by the way. I just wish someone would take the time to, dull the edges so I don't fucking die. So now these pads, which are the Eris pads, which are the exact same style, by the way. These have velour outside and front and perforated inside. This has solid and velour and perforated inside. So it's close. So you get a slight, what you do is by changing to a pad like this, you're removing that ungodly thick amount of foam. So you're getting basically the exposed driver. And there's not much left in here to tune except for that mesh that is allowing in and out, which is very thin. So I guess we should talk about sound. Zeos, don't forget to put the timestamp for sound. Because we discussed the thing. They're hyper comfortable once you get them correct and they're not making noises. They don't feel like you're wearing anything. And I'm amazed that they actually got the artist to correctly scale them on this anime girl's head. Usually things are smaller. Like anime girls that are carrying guns, the guns are like anime girl sized. And guns are fucking massive. An anime girl holding an M60 machine gun, it would be as big as her and she would collapse to the ground. Okay, pigs. And sheep. Yoshi Horikawa's Chiba is happening. And I'm having it's doing the rolly thing again where it's just, I can hear the wheel going. I like these headphones with the stock pads. I actually do. I think sound-wise, they are certainly their choice. They are sort of like refined, held back. There's good bass response. This does improve bass response, which are literally slowing the air down so it has a chance to develop inside of it. And by going with no tuning, which is what Eris pads are currently doing, as you can see straight through it, you got a lot clearer, more concise highs, almost to the point of I'm a little bit, I kind of want to put something in there. I feel like what you're going to get with these is a lot of people tuning them and telling you how to tune them. The guy who made the review is literally explaining how to tune them he said, rip this foam straight out or cut it because it is attached. I tried to get to the edge of it. It's nope. It is attached to the fabric. So if you remove it, you probably can't really return these if you don't like the way it sounds afterwards, which is why I'd recommend trying any other pad, because like here, you can technically just slam on a tungsten pad, although it just doesn't fit. It's off by like 2 millimeters, but that will just adhere. And I just spent the last, hour and 20 minutes going over all the different pads that have magnetic strips in them in my house and just listening. And I think I like these the best. But they're also fucking tungsten pads, which will probably cost you about half as much as the headphone does. These keep the bass. These are as close as you can get to the stock pads, but, well, they're Eris pads, so they're more comfortable. And they do fit. Like, the ring has to fit. That's another thing. I had tried these giant Brainwaves XL pads, just placing them on there. I didn't bother putting... Actually, I don't even know if the rings will... The rings may not even seat in this, so they'll be real close. I did not like the way these sounded. So, and I also tried the Cosmo pad. These are the Cosmos pads. Those original things had this pad. That is like, what is that? What? Give me some size, man. I put the biggest fuckers on this with the smallest chasm, and now these are $1,000 headphone. With these on, they were like $200 headphone. So now this $200 headphone, I put the expensive pads on it, and now it's like a $300 headphone, but we'll get to it. So, all right. I'm going to go back to, oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. If I bleed, I'm going to bleed all of these cute little cats, and MoonDrop will owe me a new mouse pad. Yeah, this is like, you ever see the movie Phantasm? This feels like something from the movie Phantasm. Let's just put it that way. It's like, if you're ever assaulted on the subway, you couldn't even grab it like this to punch because your hand would you have to just throw it like a ninja star. All right, let's get these off. Let's get these off and get the stock pads back on. I would almost stop the camera, but I think for insurance reasons... Trying not to tempt fate. So yeah, we'll put these back in. At least these have a very small lip. But that is, I think, the intended purpose. You would just take... so many fingerprints on these. I'm going to have to remember if I sell these in the yard sale to remove all my fingerprints. You're going to be able to fool every scanner. I'll have to put my dick print on there. Can you use a fingerprint scanner to put your dick print on it? I'm pretty sure you can. This is the thoughts that happen in Zeos's head. I usually don't say them out loud, but if you guys are sticking around to watch me put fucking rings back in pads, you might as well know what actually makes me tick. And it's those sorts of questions. So put these absolutely god-awful. They feel like an optical component for a satellite. They're so perfectly machined and sharp. Like, humans are never supposed to touch this. No. Just be real fucking careful. They should honestly have a warning label somewhere on it. Be like, hey, don't. It's not sharpened steel, but it could easily be... Ow. It could be ow. There could be owies in this, and you'll know when you get your set. Because I am going to recommend these. Because despite having options to tune to whatever your preference is, the guy on Amazon certainly was yelling about it, I'm okay with this stock pad, and you see it stretches out enough so that you can't quite tell that it looks wrong. It just looks wrong from a perspective of like the pad should be bigger by default. The hole should be bigger. Something should be bigger. But they chose and they tuned and they finally probably found a pad that works best for their setup. It's got the most bass when you keep the stock pads in. It definitely edges, like, it must roll off the highs like crazy above like 8K. That's the only way. I don't measure with machines. I measure with my ears and let you know what's going on. Yeah, like this. That's a cymbal. That should be like palpably sharp. And if I just drop these off and stick them here, we'll do one side Eris. Apparently Jeffrey Yin of SJY fame can listen to two separate tunes and assess left and right, that's a superpower. What I'm about to do is not a thing that you... Oh my God. So this song, which is Space Dandy, Mountain Mocha, Kilimanjaro, Dandies Fly, which has that has moved from center to right bias. Because there's so much dampening in the stock pad on the left that it's actually moved the sound to the right. I think what has to happen is people are going to have to... You buy these headphones, you determine if you like them with the stock pads or not. I would give them a full pass. They're a kind of a unique, dull sound. But you could feel that there's MoonDrop quality in it. Look at that. I just realized there's like a reverse invert behind the magnet with all the holes in like a thimble. That's wild looking back there. I'm okay with the way they sound. $200, absolutely, 100%. They sound good enough for $200. They're built certainly well enough for $200. There's a couple quirks about the wire and the headband being way too light and thin. I wish they'd fix it, but it's the same mechanism as their $1,000 headphone, so it'll probably work forever. The sound is dark, but it's only dark because of that foam. If you were to get these and you had another set of pads, and I haven't had a pad other than these that really sounded like worse than the stock pads, but if you got that and you either got the Dakoni tuning foam set or just any foam from anywhere that was a little bit thinner than stock, like, again, people are yelling at me for talking about my collabs in every fucking video, but that's what keeps me literally alive at this point. Support me on Patreon and subscribe to or buy my collabs. Tuning Serene, which was this is the new one that's coming out. Getting that foam right was a fucking nightmare. And I feel like MoonDrop may have pushed this foam a little too thick. If it was like 3 millimeter instead of what I think is 5 millimeters, I think it would be perfect. Because with it straight through, with just a straight through, like looking right at you, the treble is like God tier, but it's a little sharp and the bass is a little lacking. With this foam, the treble is a little bit too dull, but the bass is there. You're going to get a bass light pair out of these no matter what you do, unless you start closing up other aspects of it. Which are those holes in that? They did like... I just realized the silver in there has got like perforations in it for no reason, because you can't even see it from the other side. It's just a wall. That's so cool. Yeah, I think if you wanted to tune a cheap set of headphones, this $200 headphone, you put a little tape here to like solidify it to make it not pass through. How I would do it is I would tape this up, just masking tape, just something that stops air and comes off easy, and then change this foam thickness or pads and foam, however you want to do it. And I think you could play around with it enough to get like not just an okay headphone. Like, it's already an okay headphone. I'm talking about a fucking exceptional headphone. This is 3% of the pads I have in my house, maybe less. If I actually was like, if MoonDrop paid me like hourly to go through my giant pad box, where the fuck is my... Oh, it's on the other side of the table. I got a pad box with 150 sets of pads in it from all the headphones of all the world and every company that ever sent them to me. And if I went through it and I had different levels of foam and different fucking... I could probably tune these to be like God tier. So if you're looking for a project headphone, honestly, this is not a terrible place to start. It's probably not going to stay up at $200. They're not exactly flying off the shelves, according to Amazon. MoonDrop Professional Horizon 450 thing. What does it have? Alt dynamic driver after 2 years of extensive research. I believe the driver is completely capable. Titanium plated pen dome, double layer liquid silica gel suspension composite diaphragm. Jesus Christ, it's bigger than the Eris thing. The TP titanium plated pen dome, double layer liquid silica gel suspension composite diaphragm. I believe in the driver in this. I believe it has the capabilities. I think the way that they finalize a tune is just slightly off, like a little baby. Like it could be so good. I'm even tempted to take the stock pad and just pluck out some of the foam right in the front, like I do for my what I do here with my COS. is I put these extra thick foam Dakoni pads on, which are built so much better than the big Koss ones. I'm so shocked. There's cat hair on this now. This is what you get for getting a white cat. And I hole punch right there. Just 2 little holes. And that allows enough treble, because it blocks a little more treble. It's kind of like this. And it just lets enough through that it's like, ooh. It's like, ooh. And God, am I going to rip the foam out of these? Because someone might come over to hear them, and then it's going to be like, well, they're not stock anymore. I don't like modifying headphones irreversibly. And I feel like that's what that would do. I would probably take these, find some foam from the Dakoni tuning kit, and then cover like half. Just leave the front half exposed. Or do the full ring, and then do the same thing. Hole punch, or just cut out a little square. Just enough to let treble through. Because right now, it's a little dull, it's a little dark. I could get someone saying, I don't really like these. But it's not the headphones' fault. It's the final tuning's fault. You could make these fuckers sing. I know you can. I've heard it. And it's just like, the only difference between this MoonDrop review and all the other ones I've done where I loved the Paras and I love the Cosmo is I haven't found the final solution yet. If I spent another 3 or 4 days hammering at this, maybe I could present you all here's my Excel spreadsheet or my PowerPoint presentation on how to fix the MoonDrop Horizon. Let's go through it. But they're not broken enough for me to like completely say, nah, fuck, don't worry about it. He lives. I'm gonna kill him. That's what I'm gonna do as soon as I stop this video. I'm gonna fucking go fly hunting. I like these. I don't fucking love them. I think that the few little quirks that annoy me are fixable with money. I mean, this, you could literally adhere another piece of steel to it, that sounds fun. And this, you could replace with one of my other collabs, which sounds like it'll make me $3. But the tuning, I feel like, is up to you. Whether you pick an Eris pad or you go to Ryan at Mod House, like, hey, could you sell me this, but make this just slightly smaller? Or just any pads, any fucking pads, and a little bit of tuning foam difference. This could be a rockin' solid set. Right now, it's their cheapest headphone, and it's better than their other one that came out. Do I still have that one? I had that one headphone that like disappeared. MoonDrop brought it out and was like, hey, you have a headphone gone. They were very embarrassed by it. So yeah, I'm gonna link the wallpaper. I'll obviously link I'll link to every MoonDrop headphone, as I always do. Because they're all good. Like, if I go to a MoonDrop store and I go to there's going to be a million goddamn those headphones. They have IMs in the headphone category. I'll be super mad. Ooh, the Edge. I haven't gotten the Edge yet. Oh, the Joker. Joker was all right. Remember I sanded the back of it? It was okay. They apparently got rid of the Venus now. It's just the Power for $350 and the Cosmo with no reviews. This is a $1,000 headphone, and it sounds like a $1,000 headphone once you put a different pad on it. This is a $200 headphone, and it could sound way better than a $200 headphone if you find the right pads for it. I implore you, someone who owns these, who's watching this video already, take a pad off of anything else you got. And if you don't got anything else, SOL. But take a pad off of anything else you got and just temporarily hold it like on the cups and put it on your head. And if you like the way it sounds better with the foam missing, but it's still a little bit too high, then boom, I've already sparked it. You've become a headphone modifier, and that is all you're going to be the rest of your goddamn life. I can't hate MoonDrop. They put waifus on everything. It's like the cheat code for Zeos. You send me a shit product, but you put a half-naked anime girl on it, I'll probably give it a pass, right? Right. That's actually not true. I've shit on some things with anime girls, and it keeps me awake at night. But anyway, Patreon and subscribe so I support this channel along with my collabs. Pick a way to support the channel if you really like it. Either get something cool like a cable or a headphone or an IM. The Defiant is flying off the shelves. The Valencia power amp is great. I'm soon to have a VU meter from Fosse. That's going to be really, really fucking exciting because people can use it. I've made it so people can use it. Isn't that going to be great? What are the collabs I got? Keyboard keycaps are still out there. The Rinko keycaps are still out there. And get your wallpaper waifu in the wallpaper horde using Resilio Sync. Or figure out how to snip it into Imgur. I'm tired. I'm bored. I'm going. MoonDrop, I love you. I wish that if MoonDrop did a collab with me, man, would it be fucking tuned to perfection. And it would come out and it would be like, oh, everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. It wouldn't have a wire with microphonics. Unlike my current collab, it's going to have fucking microphonics. I'm done. See you on Patreon.